Have you ever caught yourself struggling to speak English? Not because you don't know the words, but because your brain just won't stop translating? You know the vocabulary, you know the rules, but when it's time to speak, it's like there's a wall between your thoughts and your voice. You're not alone. I was stuck there too, until I discovered how to train my brain to think in English. This is the story of how everything changed, and how you can do it too. I still remember the first time I realized I couldn't keep translating in my head. I was sitting in a tiny cafe in Berlin, trying to order a coffee in English during a language exchange meetup. The words were simple: coffee, please, sugar, yet in my brain, it was chaos. I kept translating every single word from my native language to English. By the time I figured out what I wanted to say, the conversation had already moved on. That moment changed everything. The wake-up call, realizing the translation trap. You see, I had been learning English for years, textbooks, grammar drills, memorizing lists, but it never clicked. My fluency was stuck behind a wall, the translation wall. And according to Fluency MC Jason Levine, fluency isn't about remembering rules, it's about automaticity, being able to produce language without thinking about it. I needed to stop thinking in my language and start thinking in English. Phase 1, naming my world. I started small. Every morning when I woke up, instead of saying lose in my native language, I whispered light, toothbrush, mirror, window, socks, door. I named everything around me in English. I was inspired by a method shared by Gabby Wallace, an English coach, who once said, "You need to live in English, even if it's only in your mind." So I stuck post-it notes on everything in my room: desk, chair, curtains. My apartment looked like a vocabulary museum, but it worked. Slowly, I was rewiring my mind to skip the translation step. Phase 2, the self-talk strategy. Then came the next challenge, thinking in full sentences. I started narrating my life in English. While brushing my teeth, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm going to take a shower. At first, I felt ridiculous, but I remembered something that AJ Hoga, the founder of Effortless English, said: "Speaking to yourself in English is not crazy, it's practice." So I did, all the time. On the bus, walking to class, even while cooking, one evening I caught myself thinking, "Did I leave the stove on?" in English, without translating. I smiled. It was working. Phase 3, creating a digital English world. To immerse myself fully, I changed my phone and laptop settings to English. I followed English-speaking YouTubers, started watching Friends with subtitles off, and began reading English blogs daily. One video from the English channel hit me hard. The host said, "Don't just learn English, live in English. Let English be your shadow." So I did. Every time I wanted to Google something, I did it in English. Even when it felt unnatural, I wrote my grocery list in English. I wrote my journal in English. My thoughts slowly adapted. Instead of thinking, "Estoy cansado," I thought, "I'm tired." Phase 4, the power of input. Listening became my secret weapon. I followed Luke's English podcast, watched TED Talks, and listened to music mindfully, not just hearing lyrics, but thinking about their meaning. I even repeated phrases out loud to practice intonation. This ties into Stephen Krashen's theory of comprehensible input, the idea that we acquire language when we understand messages just above our current level. It was like feeding my brain English nutrition. I wasn't just learning words, I was absorbing rhythm, emotion, and tone. Phase 5, live conversations equals brain activation. But nothing transformed my English brain like real conversations. I joined a weekly speaking club online. At first, I froze. I still paused to translate, still searched for the right words. But then a miracle happened. I started answering instinctively. My brain stopped switching. It just spoke. One day, a friend asked, "How's your week been?" And without thinking, I replied, "Pretty good. I went hiking on Saturday." It was fluent, it was natural. I hadn't even realized I answered in English until a second later. Key takeaways from my journey. Label your world. Use physical objects to associate English directly with reality. Narrate your actions. Self-talk isn't weird, it's training. Surround yourself with English. Input leads to output. Write in English. Journaling helps internalize grammar and expression. Speak regularly. The real magic happens in conversation. Full circle. A year after that cafe moment, I went back to that same place. This time, I didn't hesitate. "Hi, I'd like a coffee, please. No sugar. Thank you. No translation, no panic, just English." And that's when I realized I didn't just learn English. I became someone who thinks in English.